He was beaten during a police interrogation when he was only 16 years old. In today's Freedom Files Wrongfully Convicted, we share the heartbreaking story of Isaac Knapper. 16-year-old Isaac Knapper had found his niche.
I had already won the Golden Gloves twice. I had a promising career.
April 12, 1979. Two black men try to rob two college professors as they head into their hotel. One of them has a gun. Professor Robert Banks is shot point blank and killed instantly, leaving behind his 4 children, including a 16-year-old daughter, Amy. Less than a month later, Isaac is named by a police informant as the gunman.
They came to me, they said, "We know you didn't do it, but we believe that you know who did it." And they said, "We just want you to sign these papers stating that Leroy Williams committed that murder." And I said, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know if Leroy Williams committed that crime or not."
Isaac's interrogation lands him in a hospital bed.
They broke my ribs on the right side, and on the left side, they fractured my ribs. I had to get swollen glands took out my body. They took blood clots all out my body.
The prosecutor's entire case hinges on the testimony of a 17-year-old Leroy Williams.
You can tell when he took the stand, you could almost tell that it was rehearsed. They told me, I knew that they did the same thing with Leroy.
Isaac is found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
And I looked at my family, my sister started screaming and hollering loud, "Y'all know he didn't do it."
The now 17-year-old is sent to Angola State Prison, the country's largest maximum security prison.
I had got to the point to where I had prepared myself to die in Angola. I didn't even have hair in my face. I barely had hair under my arm. And hearing these stories about how these guys, they like vultures. I was not gonna be nobody's girl.
Isaac's boxing talent keeps him safe, even earning him respect from fellow inmates.
Department of Correction title, only one person can hold a title in each weight division. And I held the title for over 9 years.
Over the years, his case falls by the wayside. But then a fellow prisoner who is working in the law library takes a look at it.
He read the transcript. He read about maybe 50 pages. He said, "You was railroaded." He said, "I'm gonna get you out of here."
A New Orleans attorney takes up his case and discovers things never presented to Isaac's team at his original trial.
Tony was the guy that identified me. In fact, I found out years later that he didn't only identify me, he identified 12 more people.
Then she finds the smoking gun, literally.
A week after that crime was committed, 3 guys got arrested in that same area for armed robbery with the gun that the ballistic shows was the murder weapon that killed Dr. Banks.
In 1991, after 12 years in prison, Isaac is released. More than a decade later, Dr. Amy Banks finds out that the wrong man went to prison for her father's death. She and her sister ask to meet Isaac. So Amy and Isaac did meet, and they have since written a book together. And earlier, we spoke with both of them.
Dr. Amy Banks and Isaac Knapper, welcome to DBL. Now, Amy, let's get right into this. When you found out that the wrong man went to prison for your dad's death, what were your first thoughts?
Just unbelievable, stunning, staggered, and of course, it was 13 years after Isaac had already been released from prison. There was both the information itself and then the lag time in which my family had not been told.
Isaac, why did you agree to the meeting with Amy after everything that happened?
I wanted to meet Nancy, her younger sister, that was 8 years old when she lost her father. And I figured this would be the opportunity. And I also felt like it would bring some kind of healing and with the both of us meeting each other. And it did.
But Dr. Amy, what was the hardest thing for you to hear during your meeting with Isaac?
You know, honestly, the hardest thing was the brutality, and not only that he had been arrested as a 16-year-old boy wrongfully for the murder of my father, but the interrogation tactics, the brutality, the beating. You know, it's one thing to have someone make a mistake, and it's quite another thing to have people actively withholding information that could have changed the course of Isaac's life, but also would have brought some sense, I don't know what justice is in this legal system, but would have given my family some sense of closure.
I want you both to answer this question. Why write a book together? What do you want people to take away from each of your stories?
The message is for, very particularly for white people, to get invested in trying to change the system, because it's not working for anybody.
Isaac, you mentioned earlier that almost it was therapeutic in a way. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Why did you want to write the book from your standpoint?
When we talked about it, I thought it was a great idea because of what was going on right now in America with this systemic racism and the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor thing, all this stuff going on. It couldn't have came at a better time to kind of bring peace among us, people in general, you know, and every race, you know, to show that we can come together regardless of our race and who we are. We can still come together and get along, you know, and make change in America.
I think that's perfectly said, very timely. Very important stuff.
Absolutely.
Fighting Time is out now, everyone. Anywhere books are sold. Again, Amy and Isaac, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.